Deep in the heart of the Whispering Pines forest, there was a trail no one dared to walk after dark. Locals called it the Wailing Path, named for the eerie sounds that echoed through the trees at night, like a woman crying, though no one had ever found the source. For years, hikers who ventured too far into the woods would return with stories of shadows that moved on their own and whispers that seemed to come from nowhere, but no one believed them until Emily. Emily was new to town, a city girl who had moved to the countryside for a fresh start. She'd heard the stories about the Wailing Path, of course, but she didn't believe in ghosts or monsters. To her, the woods were just woods, quiet, peaceful, and perfect for clearing her head. So when the sun began to set one evening and she realized she'd lost the trail, she wasn't worried. At least not at first. The forest grew darker with every step, the trees closing in around her like a cage. The air was thick with the scent of pine and something else, something metallic like blood. She pulled out her phone, but the screen was blank, the battery dead. She cursed under her breath and kept walking, her footsteps crunching on the dry leaves. That's when she heard it. A whisper. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was there. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. "Hello?" she called, her voice trembling. The whisper came again, louder this time, but she couldn't make out the words. It was coming from the trees. She turned and ran, her breath coming in ragged gasps. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, until they were all around her, echoing in her ears. She stumbled over a root and fell, her hands sinking into the cold, damp earth. When she looked up, she saw it. A figure stood among the trees, its shape distorted and flickering like a shadow in the firelight. It had no face, no features, but she could feel it watching her. The whispers grew into a deafening roar, and she clapped her hands over her ears, squeezing her eyes shut. When she opened them again, the figure was gone. The forest was silent, the air still. She scrambled to her feet and ran, not stopping until she burst out of the trees and into the clearing where her car was parked. She drove home in a daze, her hands shaking on the wheel. The next morning, she told her neighbor, an old man named Henry, what had happened. He listened in silence, his face pale. When she finished, he said, "You shouldn't have gone into those woods, girl. The Wailing Path, it doesn't just take your way, it takes your soul." Emily laughed it off, but that night she heard the whispers again, this time in her own home. They grew louder and louder until she couldn't sleep, couldn't think, couldn't breathe. And then, one night, she disappeared. They found her car parked at the edge of the woods, the door hanging open, the keys still in the ignition. But Emily was never seen again. Some say she's still out there, wandering the Wailing Path, her soul trapped in the shadows. And if you listen closely on a quiet night, you might hear her voice among the whispers, calling for help that will never come.